back, you guys. We're back breaking down the 2022 schedule for the Houston Texans, and we're on week 10 through week 13. And we're going to break down these games. The Texans have already had their bye. So right now, Texans are just on this long stretch of games. And we're at a point, where we get into the meat and potatoes of the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting some tough matchups, right now. We just kept coming off a Thursday night loss against the Eagles, and the Texans are now going into this week. Was it week 9?
Week 10.
And week 10. I'm sorry, week 10, and the Texans are playing
the Giants.
The Giants
in New York, and we are 500. We're 500.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just a preference at this point in time. We're 4-4, going into week 10 at New York. Once again, this is one of those rare occurrences where I think the Texans have the talent advantage for the roster.
Yeah.
I think the Texans, even with the Giants having Thibodeau and Saquon and Jones, I feel like, and Neal, I feel like the Texans at this point are more cohesive and more talented than what the New York Giants are. And I think this is still an early game, so it's not going to be as cold as it would a December game. So I think the Texans take advantage of a young defense. They got rid of Bradbury, one of the stalwart corners. I think they're able to be taken advantage of, and I think the Texans go into New York and win a game in New York. Against the Giants, I don't think they ever won a game in New York against the Giants.
Shit, I don't know. Have we ever played? I can't remember us even playing.
Yeah, we played them. We played them a few times in New York, but I don't think we've ever beat them in New York. So I think this may be one of those games. And hell, we don't know. Tyrod Taylor may be playing, and it may be Tyrod Taylor revenge game. So, but at the end of the day, I still think the Texans come into New York and win this game.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think, out of respect, let's talk about their strengths. Like you said, they have a pretty stout interior defensive line. Azeez Ojulari, who a lot of people like coming out of Georgia. Kayvon Thibodeau, one of the most hyped edges, of recent history. And outside of, Xavier McKinney. Outside of that, same thing, new regime, new defense. Wink Martindale, no cornerbacks, another very aggressive defensive coordinator who isn't afraid to send the house. But in this system, you need corners. And does anybody know any corners on their team right now? Okay, no. So what the fuck? I don't see this being a problem. I think that we should go in there and this should be a game that, we go in there and we out physical them. We should be able to run the ball on them, and we should be able to throw the ball on them. And then on defense, I think they have a good tackle pair. I think, Evan Neal is a great player. Andrew Thomas, I think this is a year where he has to really, really start proving himself. The interior of their offensive line is, from what I understand, in shambles. Daniel Jones hasn't done shit. Receivers, tight ends, who are they? They have no identity at this point. And I think that, we should have an identity at this point, So I think this is a game where, we should go in there and dare I say blowout. We should go in there and fuck them up. This should be a game that we go in there with the, the mentality like we should do whatever the fuck we want to do. We should go in there to do our job and get them out of there quick,
This was the easiest W I put on my on my schedule. Y'all said everything that needs to be said, and I feel like we could probably in that same breath talk about the Commanders the same way.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right, y'all. So we moving ahead to week 11, the Commanders. Let me start this off because this might be one that we disagree on. This might be the most entertaining. Oh shit. Oh shit! All right, this might be the most entertaining part of this segment. Yeah. So let's just talk about it, man, straight up. We don't know shit. I mean, they have a good O line, apparently, decent O line. Running backs should be good now between Gibson, who underachieved last year. I thought I had him on my fantasy team. He had good games and he had bad games and he fumbled a few times. Very talented, but just they add a bruiser running back with Brian Robinson. They add Carson Wentz, who I know is gonna. We all have experience with him personally in the division. Very mixed reviews. Good receiving core. With Jahan Dotson, they have a bunch of little, fast, quick guys, right? Tight ends, Logan Thomas. Oh yeah. And then I mean, their offense is decent. I don't know how y'all feel about the coaching on the offense, but decent roster. In terms of their defense, though, I think this is where a lot of people kind of have this idea that their defense will be the same as it was Chase Young's rookie year. Chase Young regressed last year. He wasn't as dominant as he was his rookie year before tearing his ACL. We don't know what's going on with Sweat and Allen, which one will be moved, if one will be moved.
You mean Payne and Allen?
My bad. Yeah, Payne and Allen. So we just don't know. I think that Jamin Davis didn't play as well as thought he was. Maybe he could take a super athletic linebacker. Maybe he could take a step forward. Safeties, I know that was a big problem. I don't know who they added in the draft or free agency. Cornerbacks, kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of not the strong suit. I think that this might be a team that takes a step backwards in terms of their defense again, maybe. You know what I mean? So
aside from their edges, aside from their edges, they don't have much going for them.
And like I say, bro, with Chase Young, which Chase Young are you gonna get? I love Chase Young. I'm a 4-3 guy, so I love Chase Young, but is he gonna be the same guy that we saw his rookie year? Is he gonna be like a lot of the thing is like I'm hearing is that he's trying to beat people off of speed. He hasn't really, been the bully at all, So if he can, return to that, I'm not sold on their defense, I think that their defense, it wasn't, they were by this point, by this point, you would think that they would have a top 3 defense in the league, and it just hasn't been that. So I think, Bav, I think honestly, as much of a tough game as I thought this might be, I think this might be a win.
I think they have, where you see they have names on defense, like their defensive line, all 4 of them are big name guys, but I think they have more star power on offense. And at this point in the season, are we seeing Sam Howell start for the Commanders?
That can be.
Yeah. So if that's the case, regardless, Lovie Smith's going to be in his bag completely this year. Mm-hmm. He got 4 players in the secondary that he legitimately wanted from this draft class. Mm-hmm. And if he sought after those people so much, he obviously is drawing up game plans in his free time on how to use these guys. You know what I'm saying? But, it all comes, you can say all of the things you want about all their talent. Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas. They even drafted Cole Turner. They have Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson in the backfield. It comes down to who's throwing the ball. And we have one of the best defensive coaches in punishing mediocre quarterback play. You know what I'm saying? He'll trick you, if in this game we take the ball away twice,
Yeah.
it's just like the easiest win. You know, if you take 2 possessions away from this team, yeah, I think it's a win. I you know, I think we kind of kick their ass, but
This is a home game,
Mhm.
so I give that advantage to the Texans. I think if Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback, he gives you the opportunity to win the game. Um, you know, and there's so much uncertainty surrounding that team that hopefully we'll get a clear picture by the time they play Houston in week 11.
Mhm.
Um, this is a toss-up game for me.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, you know, if everything is going right and Davis Mills is playing well, Texans could pull this one out.
yeah, I'm gonna put a W.
I mean, I just think that it just comes down to what you think of Carson Wentz
Mm-hmm.
and how good do you think their defense actually is, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, when you look back at it, the secondary, I mean, they got William Jackson at corner, but William Jackson got abused
yeah.
a lot. You know, at corner, I think he was more of a product of the Cincinnati defense
Mm-hmm.
in general which is why he signed a big contract with Washington. But he was, you know, average as a cornerback for them. He hasn't kind of lived up to that number one, you know, contract he signed. So I think they're vulnerable and I think they can get beat. So for me, I think, you know, we can count that as a win if you guys want to agree to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know,
It's a momentum win too, coming off the Giants.
I just don't see. I just don't see their defense being. I mean, now if their front is just playing how it. Oh, they have Filet. Damn, they got Mathis from Alabama. So
Oh, and linebacker.
no, the DT.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot the late round. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You know, but he more of a 3 tech or a nose?
I think he's more of a nose.
Okay. I mean,
I mean, they're heavy because you got 3 Alabama DTs. You got him, you have Payne, and you have Allen all playing DT with Sweat and Chase Young on the outside.
yeah. And the thing about it is Sweat is very good against the run. You know.
Yeah, and the thing about it is because of that game, is this one of those games where Pep lets Davis Mills loose and say, okay, sling it around. You know, we're not going to be as effective in the run game, so let's sling it around.
But I mean, my thing is, I mean, maybe, you know, I mean, maybe I'm just being optimistic. I mean, I think that we have a better chance running on them than Philadelphia, but I do agree with you in that, like, I like our receivers against this secondary,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
So with that, you know, right now we're 2-1 against the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're moving on to week 12 at Miami.
Mm-hmm. So we count that as a win. We count that as a win.
Yeah, we counted this as a win at this point in time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. So now
we're 6-4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we 6-4.
6-4 going into week 12 against the Miami Dolphins in Miami.
All right.
Miami's gonna be tough. Miami's gonna be nothing to play with. I feel like with what's the coach name? McDaniels? Is it McDaniels? Coming in, I think he's going to innovate that offense, especially with Tyreek Hill now, with Tua, with, you know, Mostert at the running back, and then they just signed the one we wanted. What was the running back?
Sony
Michelle. So they're gonna be run heavy. But the basis of their team is going to be what we hope to be, is that run the ball control, play great defense. The defense is still stacked. They didn't really lose anything. If anything, they gained, you know, a few players on defense. So I think their defense is going to be stacked. Their defense is going to be hard to run on, hard to pass on. I mean, you know, all around, you know. So I think, you know, for me, I think this is a quick loss.
Yeah.
Let's go into Miami, get us over with, keep it moving.
And I think one thing talking to Miami fans is that like they like the continuity between the defense. I don't think they're really going to change the scheme too much. It seems like they pretty much retained, someone with the same philosophy as Brian Flores. So we're getting, a similar type of style defense. So it won't be that different. Like you said, everything you said, I agree with. You got a stout front. Probably one of my favorite and most to me, someone who's just a grossly underrated edge, man, is Jalen Phillips. Although I know it's crazy to say someone and going into their second year, but we're talking about someone that, had top 3 pick potential that was derailed because of, concussions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking about a physical freak. We're talking about, a 6'5", 6'6", 270-pound edge that runs like a 4 or 5. We're essentially talking about someone with the build and makeup of a Chase Young. So, yeah, man. I mean, and I agree with you, bro. This is gonna be a tough game, and I think that we've kind of been. I've been favorable in tough games with us this, as we're going over the schedule. I think this is one that I'm gonna just chalk up as an L simply because like they're such an improved team. And I think, I mean, hell, we won a lot of tight games this year, according to us. So I agree.
It all comes down to the quarterback for me. You know what I'm saying? And my prediction, I gave the Texans a win because I just don't think Tua can utilize the weapons he has, but yeah, I mean, I totally see y'all's point of view. If Tua can get the ball to him and he can get through Lovey disguise and everything to take the ball away from him, then cool. It's going to just be a chess match. Any mediocre quarterback, any quarterback that's not great is going to struggle against Lovey, and Lovey's just going to put his guys in the right spot. Because he's going to be able to do more things. Lovey was so limited and still we were one of the top teams in takeaways, even though he was so limited. Now you're telling Lovey he can kind of do whatever he wants with his defense. Come on, man. But
what's gonna turn their tide is that they're just gonna run the ball.
Yeah.
they're just gonna run, and I feel like if Tua is a liability, they're gonna get the ball out of Tua's hands, and they're just gonna, they're gonna do jet screens, they're gonna do, reverses and all that stuff. That playmaking stuff with Tyreek Hill is similar to what Mike McDaniels did with Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're gonna just, if Tua is a liability, and they feel like Lovey's gonna, even if it's early in the game and Tua throws an interception, I think the game plan changes for them. They're just gonna buckle down and just run the ball.
I mean, but really though, I mean, to run that style of offense, you don't need to have a big arm. I think it kind of how do I say it? Like it molds itself. I think Tua's strengths are what you would want in that offense. So, I mean, do you think that our front seven can be stout enough against the run to stop them running the ball?
Well, not them, and they upgraded that offensive line with Armstead as well. Like they made the moves, they made win now moves. And that team for me, I think, and going into this, they're probably going to be at like 7 wins, maybe.
They're 4 running backs deep, bro. They got Chase Edmonds, Michelle, Mostert, and Miles Gaskins, all guys that can run. I mean, and it just goes back to their defense to me. Like, I think they upgraded their offense, obviously, and their defense. I mean, where's the regression at? Like, I mean, where do you think they actually got worse at? Like, I mean, Byron Jones is older, but I mean,
still got Xavier Howard.
Yeah, Xavier Howard is still going to be that guy. Javon Holland. I mean, he's turning upward. I mean, and then we already went over their front seven. I mean, they're stout. It's a good team.
I just think they're going to pull this one out, and you know, at the end of the day, we're gonna be 6-5 now. We're still a winning record going into
6-5, yeah. 6-5,
So-
and now, y'all, we have the biggest game of the year. Week 13, December 4th, Deshaun Watson makes a return to Houston. You know what I mean? So this will be the first time that we play Watson in the Browns uniform. Now,
it will be the biggest game in Texans history.
Yeah, biggest game in Texas history. I guess I'll start this one off if that's cool with y'all. The Browns are a team who I like how they play. I like how they play. I like the physical nature of the team. They have 3 good running backs now. Well, they have 4 running backs now. You know, with Jerome Ford, you know, Chubb, already good offensive line. Don't know what's going on at center for them. But you know, man, I mean, receivers are decent, good. You know, defense is good. But I mean, this is a game that, you know, I think, you know, like you said, the biggest game in Texas history. This is a game that the crowd is gonna be. This is like our Super Bowl, you know. I have no real way that, I mean, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna say we're gonna win. I think we can win this game. I want us to win this game so bad. I mean, their defense, like, I don't know about y'all, like, but I mean, I see teams that can move the ball on them, and I have no understanding of like why, you know. Yeah. So I think that we might be able to run on them. You know, I think that they're can be kind of soft up the middle. And I think that, God willing, we'll be able to run this goddamn ball on them. You know, I don't know. I mean, this is a game that could go either way, but goddamn it, I'm gonna fucking say this is a win.
What do you think? Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just think Davis Mills is gonna want this shit so fucking bad, and Deshaun's gonna want this shit so bad, and I think the other Browns players will kind of just be indifferent. They're just kind of like, this is another game, unless they are really rocking with Deshaun and like they want to help him win, which is weird. But bro, like Lovie Smith, like Pep Hamilton, like Cal McNair. Cal McNair is gonna be, if he says nothing all season, he's gonna go to Casario and be like, hey, I want to win this game. So, you know, what do we need to do? You know what I'm saying? Like let's do something, right? Let's make this the worst game of Deshaun's career. I could see the marketing for this game getting a little ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like where we get closer to the game and it's like, whoa, shit. Like, especially if we have a winning season going into this game, right? It's going to be so incredibly sold out, and it's going to be like one of the most packed NFL games like the Texans have ever seen. Like the seats are going to be filled early. There are going to be a lot of Texans fans at the entrance tunnel for the Browns. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to let them fucking have it. Now, can we physically match up with the Browns with Deshaun Watson at quarterback? Yeah. Like, yeah, we can. And we'll be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? And we will have such high energy because we're defending the game at home. You know what I'm saying? Like we've got a whole crowd behind us. It's concussive in there. You know, you both know. Y'all been to games where it's loud. It's crazy, man. Hurts my head, you know? I thought I got a concussion after JJ scored that interception for a touchdown against the Bengals, you know? I thought I was dying. But I put it as an L on my prediction because the Browns are just supposed to be good. And we've always said that, like the Browns, I'll wait for the Browns this season. But for some reason, you know, Baker is a fraud. But I think we win. I think we beat them. If the schedule goes as it goes, like with our predictions, I think we win.
Y'all ready for this?
Yeah. I know. You're the
So
voice of reason.
I'm about to take all emotion out of this game. If we go talent, if we go players, if we go what we expect the Browns to be with a capable, good to great quarterback in Deshaun Watson, they're going to beat the shit out of the Houston Texans. They're going to embarrass us. And all those Deshaun Watson haters are going to be like, damn, that motherfucker is good. And just eat the words. It may be a little competitive, but for me, I feel like the Browns are going to go in to prove a point. They're going to prove a point, especially if we have a winning record and they have a winning record, they want to go in to prove a point and say, we're a playoff team and you're not. we're divisional round or better and you're not. So we're going to, go in there and make stuff happen. Yes, they don't have the great amount of weapons, but Deshaun Watson has proved that he doesn't need, all-star weapons to be successful. He can make it work with Amari Cooper and others. They still got Njoku. They still got the 2, 3, 4-headed monster now because they added Ford from Cincinnati in the running game, and then they still got D'Ernest, and they still got Chubb, and they still got Hunt. So they got a 4-headed monster running back. You got a tight end. They're going to run the ball. Similar to Miami, they're going to run the ball. They're going to utilize the tight end. They're going to utilize Amari Cooper. Deshaun Watson, going to see some RPO action. He's going to be running the ball. He's going to come into Houston to show out. He has a vendetta. He hasn't played in a year. And, the year you come back, you get to play the Houston Texans. Now, all of this shit goes out the window if he's suspended. So everything we're talking about now, we're going to have to revisit. But at this point in time, he's playing. And, as much as we want the win, I logically speaking, taking all emotion out of it, the Browns is just too much of a great team.
Yeah, we'll put an L there.
Yeah,
all right, y'all. So at this point,
that'll wrap up this segment. And we'll go ahead and move on to the final 5 weeks on the next episode.